Kaks osad.
Kaks osadus. Kaks osa. Mida osadus või? Kaks osa.
Kaks osa. So we can... Is it working?
Yes.
Right there. So we can compare it to a human body.
Nii, me võime seda inimese keha või ihuga võrrelda.
There is a head and there are the other members.
Seal on olemas pea ja siis teised liikmed, ihuliikmed.
The head creates the order and gives commands to all the other members.
Pea annab käske, eks ole, teistele ihuliikmetele.
But still it's one body.
Aga ikkagi on üks keha.
Ja, nii.
Kas on siis niimoodi ka, et üks osa ei saa töötada kui teist niimoodi?
There's no possibility to work to one part when the other doesn't function.
Right. So yes, that's true. But in theory, the church could exist without faithful, but not without priests and bishops.
Teoorias võib kirik eksisteerida ilma uskliketa.
Although from the beginning on they were always faithful.
Aga algusest peale on nad alati usklikud ka.
And the church is there for the salvation of the faithful.
Ja seetõttu on kirik eksisteerib, eks ole, et päästa, eks ole, ilmiliikmed.
But it could survive and exist even without faith.
Suudab eksisteerida ka ilma inimesteta.
This would still be the church.
Ja ta on ikkagi kirik.
Until the priests are dead and there are no more new priests.
Kui preestrid on surnud ja
but that will not happen because Christ has promised.
Aga see on Kristuse tõotuste vastu.
So, I try to say it in Estonian, but it's difficult. Kes on osa õpetaja kiriku osa? Is that right? Who's part?
Very difficult word.
So who is a part?
See on õpetava kiriku osa.
Okay, who is a member? Who belongs? What kind of persons belong to the teaching church?
Mis kiriku osa kuulub õpetava kiriku hulka või juurde? Kas sa võtad ka osa nüüd sellest katehheesist? Püüa nüüd kontsentreeruda. Nii, kes siis kuulub selle?
What is your son thinking about this question?
Mida sa arvad sellest?
Kes kuulub kirikusse?
Kes kuulub õpetava kiriku hulka? Kes need on?
Preester.
Priest.
Piiskop.
Bishop.
Ja...
And?
Paavst.
Paavst. Väga hästi, jah. So, see on piiskopid. Neil on piiskopid ja paavst on esimene piiskop.
Ja paavst on esimene.
Of course, the priests, they work for the bishops.
Et preestrid töötavad piiskopide heaks. Preestrid töötavad piiskopi heaks.
Ja piiskop töötab paavsti heaks.
See jätta ka teile.
Aga kas oleks vale tegelikult, minu see on nüüd teoreetiline küsimus, et kas oleks vale öelda, et ka kardinalid, sest kardinalid on ka piiskopid, aga samas nad on ikkagi eraldi siin?
It is a theoretical thought, but is that then cardinals also work to Pope?
Yeah, the cardinals. The cardinals, they are like the members, like the hands and the mouth of the Pope. They belong to the Pope actually.
The cardinalid on nagu paavsti käed ja suu.
So they are bishops, usually they're bishops, but they work directly for the Pope.
Aga nad töötavad otse paavsti heaks.
So they have very high authority in the church. They have very high authority in the church.
Nad on väga kõrge autoriteediga kirikus, kardinalid.
And who belongs to the church taught?
Ja kes kuulub kiriku õpetusameti juurde? Hulka kuulub sinna.
Preester.
Priest.
Okay. To the taught, not the teaching church, the taught church, taught.
Vabandust, ma tõlkisin valesti.
Okay.
I did the wrong translation.
I figured.
Kes kuulub õpetatava osa hulka?
Usklikud.
The faithful.
Exactly, yes. Täpsem.
Yeah, excuse me.
Okay.
This is the one.
Okay. Do we have the duty to obey and believe the teaching of the church?
Kas meil on kohustus kiriku õpetust vastu võtta?
Or is it free?
Kas meil on kohustus kuuletuda kiriku õpetusele?
Maybe this teaching I accept and the other one I don't.
Seda õpetust ma aktsepteerin, seda õpetust ma ei aktsepteeri.
Nüüd Neitsi poeg töötab väga hästi.
Jaa, tubli, said kiita
Aga
praegu.
nüüd ma küsin tüdruku.
Tüdrukutelt küsib, jah? Tüdrukutelt.
What?
Ei, tüdrukutelt.
I guess.
Tüdrukutelt.
Tüdrukutelt.
Jah, exactly. The previous point, she had a question.
Kas see õpetatav kirik on nagu ka kõik need teised inimesed nagu maailmas välja?
Sa ütled, mingi katoliiklased mõtled?
Nagu...
Is this church also other people?
Ei, kas see on nagu nende inimestega, kas need inimesed kuuluvad õpetatavate hulka, kes oleksid valmis võtma seda usku vastu?
Okay. In fact, the question concerns the pagans. Is the taught church also the taught church group people is also the pagans outside of the church?
No.
Ei, need ei ole, kes katoliiklased ei ole, need ei kuulu.
What the church teaches remains true, but what we are speaking about these two groups, this distinction in the Catholic Church.
Nii et see katoliku kiriku sees on see grupp.
So we speak the church taught here means the Catholic faithful.
Nii et see tähendab, katoliiklikud usklikud on õpetatavad siiski. Mitte paganid ja kes on väljaspool või protestandid.
Okay, so we return to the what?
Nüüd ongi see küsimus.
Okay. So
Now I'm ready to answer the question.
okay, so we return to that question. Do we have to believe everything the church teaches?
Kas me peame aktsepteerima kõike, mida Püha kirik õpetab?
Selles mõttes
In that
ei
sense
pea,
that
sest on olemas baptisti kirikud,
because there is a Baptist church, there is a Lutheran church.
Maybe we can let him finish and then you can
Okay.
translate, okay?
et sul on, et tegelikult ei pea, sellepärast et on olemas nagu väga mitmeid kirikuid nagu baptisti või luteri kirikuid, aga sul on valik, kas sa lähed luteri või baptisti või nagu kirikusse.
You have a choice whether you go to Baptist church, whether you go to Lutheran church, whether you go to Methodist church, and so on.
So is this a question? Does he say?
This is an answer to your question.
Okay, he says.
Yeah.
In general,
but you have a choice. You have free will choice.
And is it the same thing? Does it matter if I'm a Catholic or?
Et kas on mingi vahe, kas sa lähed katoliku kirikusse või baptisti kirikusse? Kas on mingi vahe?
Tegelikult on väga suur vahe.
There is a very big difference.
Okay, so is every kind of Christian group? Is it the same? Has it the same value? The same as the Catholic Church?
Igasugusel kirikul, mis on maailmas, on samasugune väärtus kui katoliku kirikul. Ei ole.
Okay, I ask more directly. I hope not to shock you, but this belongs to the Catholic teaching. Do the other Christian groups, do they have the power to save souls?
Kas teised kristlikud grupid omavad võimet päästa hinge põrgust?
Ma arvan, et mitte.
I think that no.
That's right.
So
That's right. So it does matter. It does matter. If I want to be saved, I must be Catholic.
Kui ma tahan oma hinge päästa, ma pean olema katoliiklane.
Okay. So then, what do you think? Do the Catholic faithful have to believe everything the church teaches.
Kas katoliku kiriku liige peab kuuletama kõigele, mida kirik õpetab?
Jah, sest minul ei ole katolik.
Yes, otherwise he not Catholic.
Yes, exactly. And why is that so? Because the authority to teach comes from Christ himself.
Nii et see autoriteet või see meelevald, authority meelevald, see tuleneb Kristuselt endalt.
And that's why he said to his apostles, he who hears you, hears me.
Ja Kristus ütleb, et see, kes kuuleb
who hears you, to the apostles, he said, hears me.
Nii et ta ütles apostlitele, et see, kes kuulab teid, apostleid, see kuuleb mind, Kristust.
And he who despises you, despises me.
Ja kes põlgab mind, see põlgab Kristust.
So this is the authority of the teaching church comes from Christ.
Nii et kiriku tõde, kiriku õpetus tuleneb Kristuselt endalt.
Now imagine Christ was here, well he is here, but imagine like 2000 years ago, he is preaching, and imagine, would you be free to choose something of his teaching to be true or not?
Ja kui Kristus oleks praegu siin, tabernaklisega, kui ta oleks päris oma ihuga siin, kas sa siis oleksid vaba valima mingisuguste paganlike uskude vahel, kui Kristus on sinu ees, eks?
Ei. And the teaching church teaches with this authority of Christ.
Kristuse autoriteediga või meelevallaga õpetab kirik.
So similarly, if we want to be saved, we have to believe everything the church teaches.
Et oma hinge päästa, peame me kõike aktsepteerima, mida kirik õpetab oma magisteeriumiga.
So it's interesting that you come to this session because this is so against the mainstream mentality that we're teaching today.
This is totalitarianism, theocratia.
No, this is what we said in the book.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it takes something to digest that.
Yeah, well, okay, so I have a question. So
Okay.
If sometimes I think over the centuries, what the church is teaching can change based on the priests and bishops.
Okay.
And if I have something which I don't understand or I would like to change, I speak to the priest. But I still have to do what they currently say, right?
Well,
Until
yeah,
the teaching church changes.
So, okay, I give this question back to the children because we've had this last time, remember? Is the church able to change her teaching in an essential point?
Kas kirik on võimeline muutma olulistes asjades oma õpetust? Kas kirik on võimeline, kas kirik muudab oma õpetust olulistes?
Can the church change the faith?
Kas kirik võib usku muuta?
Can she?
Kas ta saab?
Minu meelest ei saa.
My opinion is that no, can't change.
What do you all think?
Mis teeme?
Because in the essential things, in the essential teaching, Christ knew that he has to give the church a special strength to stay true to the teaching for thousands of years, which ordinary people cannot. So he gave a special grace to the teaching church, and this is called the infallibility.
Ja ta andis kirikule erilise eksimatu armu läbi 2000 aasta õpetada tõde.
So if the Pope declares a dogma, if there is a definition, a doctrinal definition by the magisterium of the church, it is infallible.
Et kui paavst kirjutab alla dogmale ja õpetab nagu dogmaatiliselt, siis ta on eksimatu, infallible, jah, eksimatu.
Yeah, and this was absolutely necessary because only through the true faith we can get saved. So if Christ had not given this grace to the church, after a couple of 100 years, the change would have been changed.
Kui oleks seda eksimatuse võimet antud kirikule, siis juba 200 aasta pärast oleks see õpetus juba muutunud mingite hereetikute õpetuse poolt.
That means if we have a catechism, a traditional catechism like this, we can absolutely trust the teaching as well.
Et kui meil on traditsiooniline katekismus nagu see, siis meil on absoluutne nii-öelda book of truth, tõe raamat.
That's one of the beauties of being a Catholic, that we have the security.
Nii et meil see on katoliiklaseks olemise ilu, et meil on absoluutne kindlus usus.
One last question. Okay. Which parts can be changed?
Mis osa võib muuta?
Okay, so there are things that may subject of theological discussion in general. So there's always theological research in questions that have not been defined yet. There is a scientific, there is discussions and research. So
teoloogia alati otsib mingisuguseid pidepunkte, mis ei ole nii selged. See on teoloogia.
For example, what is up to discussion is, for example, the question if Saint Joseph. If Saint Joseph did have original sin or not.
Kas Püha Joosepil oli päris tapp või ei olnud, see on näiteks veel lahti.
For example, that's not absolutely
clear.
Questions like that.
Yeah.
But the questions that are taught in the catechism, especially the questions of the creed, the points of the creed, this is absolutely unchangeable.
See on absoluutselt muutumatu.
From the beginning of the church. It can never change, it's true. Yeah. It cannot change.
See ei saa muutuda, see on kiriku algusest sama olnud kogu aeg. Mis puudutab usutunnistust, reedot.
This is so against the mainstream of modern mentality that it's difficult to grasp, but it's one of the things that makes us happy to be Catholics, because we know the truth.
See teeb meid katolikud õnnelikuks, sest me ei ole nii-öelda selle, eks ole, avaliku mainstream ajakirjanduse meelevallas, eks ole.
Okay, let's continue.
Lähme edasi.
Besides the teaching power, does the church have any other power?
Kas õpetusliku meelevalla kõrval on kirikul ka mingisuguseid muid meelevaldasid?
So I'll answer that myself because it's a little more difficult. So yes, she does. She has the particular power of administering sacred things.
Tal on õigus administreerida või korraldada pühi asju.
To make laws.
Teha seadusi.
And to exact the observance of laws.
Ja exact.
To watch over them.
Ja kontrollida nende seaduste täitmist.
So the church has a teaching power.
Ja tal on õpetuslik meelevald.
A sanctifying power.
Pühitsuslik meelevald.
And a governmental power.
Ja valitseja meelevald.
And all these three powers come from Christ.
Ja need kõik kolm meelevalda, eks ole, võimu tulevad Kristuselt endalt.
So does this, okay, I just said it, but the next question is, does the power, this power come from the people?
Kas see võib tulla inimestelt?
Beneath them?
No.
Ei.
But where does it come from?
Kust ta tuleb siis? Kust võim tuleb? Kust tuleb meelevald? Igasugune autoriteet.
Mida sa mõtled?
Authority.
Ta tuleb inimene.
Kust ta tuleb siis?
Kes andis seda autoriteeti?
Kes andis seda autoriteedi? Stefan,
jah, Stefan.
Autoriteedi andis meile Jeesus Kristus.
That's it. So the Catholic Church is not democratic.
Yes. Katoliku kirik oli see.
Excuse me?
What was the answer?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Yes. So the authority that the Catholic Church has was not given to it by a democratic act by the people, but it comes from above.
Nii et katoliku kirik on monarhistlik.
Mis on monarhistlik?
Kuningriiklik. Ta ei ole demokraatlik. Ta on monarhistlik.
So this lesson is so anti-mainstream. But I'm glad you're here. It's good. Okay. It's even a heresy to claim that the authority of the Catholic Church comes from below, from the people.
nii et on hereesia või ketserlus väita, et katoliku kirikust tuleb võim inimestelt, ilmikutelt.
It comes only from God.
Ta tuleb otseselt Jumalalt.
Kas see on sellepärast, nagu inimestel ei ole võimu sellistes?
Is that because people have no any power? Is that so because of that?
People have they have no governmental power.
Nendel ei ole valitsuslikku võimu, inimestel pole valitsuslikku võimu, et valitseda.
Everybody has his own task in the church.
Igaühel on kirikus oma töö.
But the authority is given.
Aga võim, power, authority, power, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
See tuleb otse Jumalalt.
So, for example, the people could not just gather in a big council without pope, without bishop, and make decisions concerning the government of the church.
Näiteks ei saa tuleb 1000 ilmikut kokku, eks ole, ja muudab kiriku seadusi ja eks ole, seda ilmikut ei ole seda võimu.
Only the pope and the bishops can do that.
Ainult paavst ja piiskop saavad tulla kiriku kooli kokku.
And the faithful actually have the duty to accept the decisions.
Pardon?
The faithful have the duty to accept the decisions.
Ja inimestel, ilmikutel on kohustus aktsepteerida, võtta vastu need seadused.
In general,
But then I had a question, what about Vatican
yeah, yes,
II?
but this is an adult question.
See on
This will take too long. It's a very good
see on
question.
küsimusele, see on spetsiaalne.
But if we go to that, it's a higher
Me
level.
oleme liiga laiali ja liiga kõrgusel, kui me hakkame seda Vatican teise probleemi arutama.
So this is the teaching. We will talk, we can talk, it's a
Me
very
hakkame sellest
important.
rääkima kindlasti tulevikus. See Vatikani viimane kirik kokku selle probleemi, aga see on kindlasti spetsiaalne teema, selle teadusest teema.
Very good, so we're actually through. You were quite good.
Can I ask about
Yes.
what, when you said the third power is like government of what exactly, like what the laws
Okay.
that they make concerning?
So this is, for example, laws concerning discipline, the way priests have to live, for example,
Kuidas preestri elab, eks ole?
the way things are, administrational questions in the
So this
church,
is the government of the members of the teaching church
and also the faithful.
and the faithful.
Yes, yes, but also moral laws. Moral laws that are declared solemnly by the Pope to be observed by the whole church.
Mhm.
This is also these are even infallible. For example, the decision of Pope Paul VI in the encyclic Humanae Vitae concerning conception, anti-conception.
Asestusvastaste vahendite kasutamine, mis on keelatud kirikus.
For example, or the decision of Pope John Paul II that only men can be ordained priests.
Näiteks preestrid võivad olla ainult mehed.
These things
on kirikute antud.
have a very high authority, so it's not free to choose them. It's not up to discussion anymore.
Ilmikut ei saa valida endale naispreesterid näiteks.
And you said the church then observes if the law is obeyed.
Yes, she has the power. She has the
Kirikul on
power.
õigus kontrollida seda.
So does she also then put somebody in prison, or is this with the?
Well, she does what she has done.
Panna vangi siis.
Okay, let's say in a Catholic world, as it was a couple of hundred years ago, if it was the church usually she could judge, and then she would use in serious cases, if punishment had to be serious and strict, she would hand it over to the government. Because there was cooperation.
Siis võis anda viimane võimu.
But what she still does today, if there is a priest who commits a serious crime, he is judged by the church, and so the church has no prisons, but usually such a priest is ordered to live in a monastery for the rest of his life. So For example, sometimes if there is a pedophile problem, the church sometimes relegates such a priest to a monastery for the rest of his life. And she has absolutely has the right to do so. But you can also hand the priest over to the civil authorities. And she does that also too. What the church does not do and has never done is to do executions herself. Of course, strictly speaking, she has the right to because she has jurisdiction. She would have the right to capital punishment, but it does not fit the sanctity of the teaching church to do that. Also, a crucial question. You know, these things are all those things we're talking about. It's like this is hard to understand for us modernists. These things that we can almost be scandalized by some of these things. So maybe we can speak about those things in the Vatican II question in a group of adults, because there are many questions that one has to be explained.
Yes.
Maybe not fit for a children's catechism.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so your homework, your children will be. I gave it to you. You have a question to me. Oh, yes. Please ask your question.
Kas on võimalik selline asi, et piiskop saadaks preestri minema ja teine küsimus on mul selline, et kas on võimalik, et preester saaks lihtsalt saada kogu teist minema?
I think that Mr. Pross understood
Kas on võimalik selline asi, et piiskop saadaks preestri minema, kui ta on ja teine küsimus on, et kas on võimalik selline asi, et preester saadaks koguduse liikmele ära kuulutusest?
Is possible that when some priest does something bad, then the bishop can send him away. And the second question, is it true that when some lay people have done something bad, grave sin, then priest can send him away somewhere? I don't know where, somewhere away from congregation. Away from congregation.
So the first question concerning the priest, the bishop can do that. He can punish the priest by sending him to but concerning the faithful, the church only punishes, for example, if a faithful starts to preach heresy like a sectarian preacher, and it cannot be corrected because he thinks it's absolutely true that Jesus is not the Son of God and will preach it. And continue to. Then, in that case, the church can put punishments on him. But usually, this can come as far as an excommunication. Yeah. So she actually has the power to punish crimes against the faith and religion. But what she does not have the power to punish other crimes that belong to the civil sphere. That's the government's task. Yeah. So, for example, if you steal something, it's the task of the police and the government to punish you, not of the bishop. But if you preach a heresy, that's the task of the church to take. Okay. Did this answer your question? Okay.
Is the Luther's case that he was excommunicated? It was Martin Luther's case that he was excommunicated by church.
That's an example. Martin Luther is an example. When he preached heresy, he did not listen to the bishop, to the pope. He didn't want to be corrected, so he was
Yeah. see on sama, mis kirikust välja heitmine.
He was a priest.
Ja ta oli preester.
He
He was monk.
Yeah.
He was monk.
He was an Augustinian monk.
Ta oli Augustinius munk ja preester.
And he started preaching teachings that were not Catholic,
Yeah,
and he refused any correction.
Ja ta hakkas levitama mitte katoliiklikke õpetusi ja keeldus igasugustest parandustest või korrektsioonidest.
And the church absolutely has the right and the duty to do that.
Yeah,
Otherwise there's chaos in the church.
täielik õigus seda teha, muidu on kirikus kaos.
Okay, so serious things we talked about today. So please, next lesson will be after the holidays.
Need järgmine klass on siis pärast
So you can prepare those questions shortly before you come back.
nii et kes tuleb tagasi, siis on järgmine noorte.
Okay. Well, you have learned one already.
Yeah.
That's good.
Me too.
And you too. Okay, and you have to learn two. Okay. So let's see what I say over. Gloria.
Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Isa ja Maarja Pühtaima nimel. Aamen.
Aamen. Aitäh, isa Volker.
Aitäh.
Good luck.
So, I will tell Oscar that this was a serious sin, not to come to mass.
If he's only sitting, and if he's sick, then he's sick.
Yeah,